first time I've done a podcast with a hookah.
Okay, there we go.
So you guys, you knew the assignment, baby. You feel me? ATL, baby, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Got to have the hookah.
We live, Joe?
So funny as hell,
Welcome to another installment of the Underground Lounge. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Lou Will, Lemon Pepper, whatever tickles your fancy. Can't do the show without my player partner, my country ass cousin by way of Philadelphia. Yeah. My brother Spank Horton is in the house. The Underground Lounge is here.
We here, man. We here,
yes, indeed. And today in the lounge, let's stop by to have a drink and a little smoke with us.
Yeah.
Is someone who's a living legend. I said he's a gentle giant. He's a humble giant. Because I never see my brother pop his shit. But when you come to the lounge, we give you the floor to pop it a little bit. We give you the floor to pop it a little bit. We're talking about 38 number ones. We're talking about 12 Grammy nominations. We're talking about 9 came home with him.
10 came home.
10 came home.
10
came home.
Pop your shit.
And outside of all of that, when I'm in Magic, he in Magic, and we in there making magic, having a magical fucking time.
Magical events going on.
In the lounge with us today is none other than my brother, Bryan Michael Cox. Is in the Underground Lounge.
Here, brother.
Big Cox.
As soon as y'all called, it was like, yo, Lou and Spank, what y'all say? Yo, I'm in the building. Y'all my brothers.
I'm glad we was able to.
This is going to be the vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad we was able to do it right in LA, the proper environment.
Yes,
you able to actually see the lounge.
Yeah.
It's so dope too. I mean, this is dope, man.
Appreciate it, man.
We wanted to be comfortable for our guests.
And I want to apologize from the beginning. I want to apologize because, like you said, he's a humble giant. I didn't know you had all these accolades, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know you had all these accolades. I said,
no, but it's ill because we've been around each other for so long, just casually. You know what I mean? And just in each other's space. I mean, in Atlanta, it's a community, so we don't really walk around with that kind of energy
at all.
Atlanta's just super chill.
It is.
Everybody, and we're just kicking it. You know what I'm saying?
I Googled you, my nigga, and it had your fucking songs in alphabetical order. I said, this nigga got a song in every fucking letter.
No, but smashes though.
Yes.
Smashes, composer, songwriter. I even saw ghostwriter. I don't how does ghostwriting work in R&B?
I mean, it does. I mean, that's just something they added. I mean, I am technically a ghostwriter, period, because I write songs for the people. You know what I mean? We make beats for the people. I've never been an artist. I've never been, as a producer, I got into the business to be behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So it just so happened that when I got into the business, producers started being in the forefront.
Right. Yeah.
So then, I did Making a Band, that put me in the forefront. I did, you know what I mean?
So you still adding shit to the resume.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't see that today.
I actually put together Day 26 and I helped, cultivate Danity Kane. So that was a whole thing. And that's what really put me kind of like in the on TV and forefront, and then from there, that's kind of where everything happened from there. You know what I'm saying?
I want to start with the origins, man. You never wanted to be an artist. You never wanted to be in front of the camera.
No, I did. When we were a kid, teenagers, that's how this whole thing started for me. It was like, I was in groups. I played in church. And
Name one of the groups. What was one of the group names?
No, I was only in one group, and the name was terrible. But I'm going to tell it to you guys anyway. The name was Business or Pleasure with the question mark.
Oh wow!
We thought we was doing something. We thought we had the suits on. We thought it was Boys to Men / Jodeci / we was just trying to do it all, and that when you spark something with your friends in that space, especially back then, because we didn't have social media, we didn't have we was outside. Kids was outside. Kids was at church. We was at school. We was singing to the piano room, playing and singing together. It was a actual camaraderie. You had to build that actual gift. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
absolutely.
So, I was in groups and, I sang in church and I played and all those different things. And when I met a few people at my young age, I met a guy named Teron Mitchell, and then through him, I met a guy named Greg Curtis. And those two people actually opened my eyes to the whole concept of like, you could be a producer. You could be a songwriter and make a living. You don't have to be an artist. We were like, oh, you do good beats, you write good songs. Why don't you do that? I remember, I'll never forget, Greg Curtis told me, who's still one of my dearest friends to this day. He's out here in LA now. Greg told me, man, look, you can make a lot of money writing songs. Like fuck being an artist, man. Don't let nobody don't let nobody tell you like writing songs, producing, you could make a lot of money doing that.
Absolutely.
And that's a career that you can last, the test of time. Quincy Jones, David Foster, Jimmy Terry Lewis,
You
Teddy
can never
Riley.
be too old for songwriting.
Hell
You know
no.
what I mean? Like
Never
literally,
too old for life experiences.
I mean, Quincy Jones produced Thriller at 50.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man, he was 50 when he did
50
that?
years old when he produced Thriller.
Sheesh.
Which means he was 47 when he produced Off the Wall.
Off the Wall, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And at that point, he had a lifetime of music behind him. So
Damn.
I've always carried that with me. Like, this is the lifelong thing. You know what I mean? Artistry can be a lifelong thing, like a Usher, like a Beyonce, Mariah, Mary.
That's a dime a dozen, though.
A lot of people, those are the special ones.
Right,
There's a
right.
lot of artists that don't make it the lifetime artistry. You know what I'm saying? But as a songwriter, you could write songs. And like I said, David Foster's in his 70s or some shit like that.
Man.
Now Rogers is in his 70s,
Right.
still winning Grammys. Babyface is in his 60s, still winning Grammys, doing songs for SZA. And, so it's something that we could do until the end of time.
Now I know your mom was from Miami. And your mom
I was born in Miami too.
you was born in Miami.
I was born in
and
Miami.
your mom moved you to Houston.
Yeah, my mom moved to Houston.
And you went to school with Beyonce?
Yeah, so it goes like this. My mom moved to Houston. I grew up in Houston. I was born in Miami. I grew up in Houston, and I grew up on the southwest side of Houston. So a lot of us, that's where a lot of our like genesis starts. So like, how I met Robert Glasper, who's my best friend to this day, legendary guy. How I met a guy named Chris Dave, who was a legendary, musician, Donnie Scance, who I found out later was my cousin. Like all these people, we all kind of came up together. And Beyonce and LaToya and Latavia and Kelly, I met them doing this thing called the People's Workshop. And it's basically a thing where all the kids, or the talented kids would compete and, it was almost like NAACP AXO. It was like, I guess like what you would call like a junior version of American Idol, but local, for local talent.
Okay.
And when I got into high school, when I was a senior in high school, Beyonce and LaToya came to my school. And we already knew each other through another guy named Preston Middleton. And it kind of just, that relationship kind of, grew. And they knew who I was and what I was trying to do. And I knew who they were and what they were trying to do. And they were always calling me like, yo, you got a song? Or,
Right.
Because I always hounded them. I got another song for you. So it got to a place where they would look for me like, where Bryan at,
They trusted you.
And,
They saw it.
Damn.
in this, when I was a senior, they were freshmen, they would go off and record with like Dwayne Wiggins and Daryl Simmons, all these different people that were really popping during that period. And that was the only long distance call I could make. My mom would let me make so I could call them because they were like the window to like my dreams.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They were the ones that made it real. It was like, these are my friends. You know what I mean? And I'm older than them.
Right.
Right.
And these are my friends, and they are actually doing it. They're signing
have
Columbia
motion,
Records.
yeah, moving.
They got motion. It's like I always tell LaToya this. LaToya's, my sister. Kelly's my sister. I always tell them this. Like, it made it real for me. Something that was like a dream.
Right.
Watching my friends actually achieve their dream. It was like, I can do this. I just got to figure out how. You know what I'm saying? But we can do this. You know
Right
what I
there
mean?
with it.
And when I made the decision to move to Atlanta,
What year was this?
this was 97.
97.
So 97, I
That free
graduated.
nigga, ain't it?
Yeah.
Free nigga Olympics.
Yeah.
See, I moved to Atlanta in 96, but I was
96.
10 years
Too
old
young,
in 96. Yeah.
I graduated high school in 96.
Yeah.
And
Me too. Okay, same age.
So,
All right. Yeah.
so I went to school in Houston for a year, and I was still working with Greg and with Teron and still developing my craft as a producer, And I remember Greg had decided to move to LA, and he was like, you could come, move with me to LA, and we could go after this music shit. And I was just like, I felt like I'm gonna be a burden. He had a family, wife and kids.
yeah.
And I was just like, bro, like I'm still a kid. Like I'm gonna be like basically a third or fourth
Right.
kid. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I didn't want to be that. I was like, let me figure out another thing. You know what I mean? And the girl I was dating at the time, who I was in love with at the time, was like, I'm going to Atlanta. And I remember being like, cause I want to go to New York.
You chased that down.
Yeah, of course. You ain't going without me.
That was the one.
You ain't going out without me.
That was the one. Yeah,
You ain't going
chased
without
that
me. But no, because initially I was going to go to New York because Glasper got accepted to new school and he had introduced me to the dean. And, you know, I was really trying to politic that initially. And then when my girlfriend at the time was like, she's going to Atlanta, I was like, I'm going to Atlanta. And I knew it was just something about ATL. You know, I was aware of all the things that was happening in Dallas, Austin,
Right.
Jermaine, Organized Noise, you know, LaFace, So Def. It just felt like
It's the right time.
this is probably where I should go. You know, New York felt like it was a little too overwhelming. You know what I mean? You know, from my imaginary perspective, you know what I mean?
Right.
Especially come from the South.
Yeah, come from the South.
Yeah.
It just felt like, I don't know, LA was out. You know, I was just like, the only thing I knew about Los Angeles at the time was Boys in the Hood, Minister Society.
Right. That's all we all knew.
You know what I'm saying? But New York was kind of like, I do that, but it just felt like this might be a little too much for me.
Right.
And Atlanta just felt like, and my mom was very, very, like, she had a positive attitude about Atlanta. It was like, oh, Atlanta, you should go to Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got accepted to Clark. And when I got accepted to Clark, my mom was like, yeah, let's go. I mean, packed my stuff up when we drove to Atlanta.
Man, this is so dope for me because I know B Cox through JD and the whole So Dev team. And it's so many dope people that's just around and it's normal.
Right.
Like you don't even really know what's going on, but you develop your friendships and your
Yep.
relationships out of that. But this is my first time being able to speak to you in a
Yeah.
professional setting, man, and really highlight you and give you your flowers.
Yeah, man, I appreciate
and
you,
see
bro.
how did you link, you know, obviously with JD and being a part of that team, but that wasn't the first team that you started with in ATL.
Yeah, when I got to Atlanta, I initially started with this company called Noontime, right? Noontime, they were popping in a lot of ways from a marketing perspective, and they had a gang of producers, you know, that was really popping. So they had Jazzy Faye.
Okay.
They had this producer named Teddy Bishop who was popping at the time. They had J-Dub and Dent. They were signed to Bad Boy, but Noontime was co-managing them.
Oh wow.
So it was like almost they took the same concept that Puff had with the Hitmen, and they just made it their own thing, right?
Producing crews.
I connected with them. I met a guy named Chris Hicks, who's my manager to this day. And long story short, I just was like, I need an opportunity, right? I wasn't quite all the way as developed as I thought I was, because when I walked in the room and I heard Jazzy's beats, or I heard J-Dub's beats, or I heard K-Fan's beats, I was like, oh, I'm not ready yet.
Right.
You
What
know,
year was this when you was at Clark?
97.
97? Okay.
I was like, I'm not ready yet. You know what I mean? I was like, I need a little more development. That's the thing about having awareness of yourself and presence of mind, like knowing your potential, but knowing where you stand in the current moment and how am I going to get to the next phase. And I was like, oh, if I'm around these cats, if I'm around Jazzy every day, if I'm around Teddy every day, if I'm around J-Dub every day, I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
So for me, my goal was like, let me get into a space where I'm in a space with these cats. And long story short, I was able to get in the space. In that space, I meet 3 people who would change my life. 3 creatives that would change my life. The first guy is Jonte Austin.
Shout out to Jonte. Yeah.
So I meet Jonte Austin. I was 19, he was 16 at the time. So naturally, they put us together because we were closest in age, right? We were the youngins. And then I meet Brian and Brandon Casey from Jagged Edge.
Shout out to guys.
And meeting them, meeting Brian and Brandon, that's what kind of really pushed along my development as a producer, because they actually sought me out. I was like, who's this kid, you know, that's just in the room making beats and nobody's like going in there, and you know. And Chris was like, oh, that's our new guy, you know, Bryan Cox. He was like, oh, we want to work with him. And that's kind of how the thing with me and Brian and Brandon started. So we started making records immediately, right? And it developed very fast. And then next thing we know, we have like, you know, 25, 30 songs, right? Recorded and ready. So they're like, oh, we're going to go play these songs for Jermaine. You know, like we want to play songs on Escape. And he was working on Usher. He's working, you know, Jermaine was working on all these artists. And we were just coming from a songwriting perspective. You know, I wasn't even thinking that it was going to be like a Jagged Edge album.
Right.
You know what I mean? We were just trying to write songs to submit to Jermaine for these projects he was working on. And they go meet with Jermaine, come back to the studio, come back to noontime, and like, okay, hey, B, pack up, get in the car with us. We about to go down to Rio Mall and meet Jermaine. So Jermaine was at Rio Mall. They was doing a showcase for Trina Broussard, this artist he had back in the day. And Chris Tucker used to have a club at Rio Mall. Used to have a comedy club at Rio Mall. And they was doing the showcase at this particular club, and I was too young. I couldn't get in. That's how you go. I couldn't get in the club. So basically, I had to wait outside. They went inside. I had to wait outside for them to, you know, go get Jermaine. And Jermaine comes outside, and it's my first time meeting JD. And he's like, yo, man, I heard the music, man. I really like it. I'm going to give you a call. You know, we got some work to do. And he walks off and he gets in the car and he drives off. So I'm like, all right, you know what I mean?
Him to this day.
Yeah. And then like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, I get a call at the crib. It's JD. He's like, yo, man, you ready? I'm ready. You know, I need you to come to the house. He gives me the address. I ain't had no car. So Ryan and Chris and Noonie had to take me to his house in College Park. You know what I'm saying? That's where the studio was initially. Went to the crib and we started talking, and he was like, yeah, man, I need you to help me finish this Jagged Edge album. And I was like, what you mean? You know, he was like, oh, yeah, we keeping these songs. And he started playing me the songs that we submitted for these other artists.
Right.
And I was like, oh, snap. So he's like, yeah, this is the album. Like, I don't know what y'all was doing, but this is the album. And he's like, so I need you to help me finish it. And I was like, bet. The first day, we wrote Keys to the Range. Yeah. And then from there, it was like no looking back.
Damn.
Man, I want you to speak to younger artists and creators, man, and to the point of how important it is to find your ecosystem, like to find
the way you found it.
Because like even you know what I'm saying, finding this is the spot I need to be in, this is the company that I need to keep in order for me to get to my next place. How is that important for young artists and young creatives and people trying to break in the game and just being in the right place at the right time and also being very intentional about being around that type of energy?
I think ultimately you just have to be prepared, right? You know, you want to be, because if you're in the right place at the right time, but you don't have the goods, then it could be problematic. You know what I mean? It could be, you know, be prepared and also be humble enough to know that, okay, I'm willing to do whatever we got to do. You know what I'm saying? If I got to engineer, if I got to press record for the next few hours, I'm going to do that. If I got to assist and do the patch bay, I got to do that. If I got to make you some coffee, I got to make you some coffee. If I got to, you know what I mean? Like, right. You got to be in the mindset of
getting shit done.
Just getting whatever you need to get done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's get to the finish line. Let me help. How can I help this creative process get to the finish line? If it's me making coffee, cool. If it's me playing a keyboard line on a track that I didn't produce, but just to get, you know, to the finish line,
right?
Let's do that. Like, you just have to be willing to be available to help this project get to the finish line. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you gotta be prepared. You gotta be skilled. So everything that I did leading up to that was me preparing to be able to just sit down at a piano and play whatever, whenever, without nobody, no questions asked. Bryan, can you play that? Yes.
Yes.
Right. You know what I mean?
Right. You right on it.
Play it. Press play. All right, cool. I got it. You know what I mean? You just that's the 10,000 hours they talk about. You know what I mean?
Man, you basically just saying that talent, you know, the singers, they arrogant as hell, man. They be wanting everything done for them while they in that booth singing.
Yeah. Depending on who you working with.
Depending on who you working with.
You know
Right. I was going to ask that, but I don't want you to name the artist. How does that go when you going back and forth?
We podcast. Ask the question how you want to ask it. Let's see what happens.
Is there artists out there that you had to go back and forth with? And because you always hear these stories when like artists, I ain't even like that song. They wanted me to sing it, and I sang it. It was a #1 hit.
Well, I've never had that particular thing. Ironically, man, the artists that I would have the most difficulty with were not. There were artists that weren't on yet. You know, there were artists that were like newly signed,
Right.
you know,
Feeling themselves.
Like every artist that I worked with that was like established or like a star, I never had any problems with. Like literally, I remember the first time I worked with Mariah, with Jermaine. Jermaine obviously had been working with her for a long time. This is my first time working with her. I remember being so nervous because I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? You just like, Mariah's like, you know what I mean? And I remember, man, she walked in and she was just so cool. And I was so nervous. And I'm trying to like make the track with Jermaine. And they start writing. And I'm just kind of in the corner, you know, while they're writing. And she looks at me, she's like, yo, come over here. Like, what do you hear? You know? And she was just so sweet and cool and made me feel very comfortable. And I never thought that I would be friends with Mariah Carey. You know what I'm saying? Like it just, you know, whatever pretentious or whatever like thought that you may have of a person before you meet them, that she just totally blew me away. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, she's the coolest. So I've never, like when it comes to artists like her, even with Usher and even with Mary.
Usher could be a dick. He could be a dick. Come on, he could be.
Not with me though.
Nah,
Not with us.
I'm joking. No, me and Usher got a little thing. We always fuck with each other. That's all.
Nah, I remember being in the studio. Mind you, I met JD when I was 15, 16.
This story is so crazy. Whenever you tell me the story, I'd be like, this is so fucking crazy.
Listen, how I met JD is, so when I started coming around, you know, me and Bow used to spend so much time in the studio because it was like a clubhouse to us. You know, it was like a safe haven. Yeah. Somewhere we could go and be kids, but we also knew we were very much different kids.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We knew we was different.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? And I just remember one time they started dimming all the lights in the studio, walking around, lighting candles and shit. And JD came out and said, hey, y'all got to go. Mariah on the way. So I'm like, shit, I want to see it.
I'm talking about, we got to go. Where we going?
I want to see. You know what I'm saying? But man, you see so many people come in and out of that studio, and it became second nature.
Yeah.
Just being in that environment, like I said, the people that y'all have been able to work with and make history with, and now you in the fucking Guinness Book of World Records for consecutive chart success.
Yeah.
Beat out the Beatles.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I remember when that happened. That happened like 2005 or something like that when that happened, right? And I remember when that stat happened, I was like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like literally things happen, like even this year with this whole Billboard bit with the, you know, #2 all-time R&B producer, and like #25, you know, Hot 100 producer, like all this stuff that's happened, like we don't, I know I don't, and I could probably speak for Jermaine too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like we don't think about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when it happens, it's like, word. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like literally we have such a love for the craft and a love for the art and a love for just the game of it. Like what I miss the most about the business is the friendly competitiveness, right? Like we was coming up, you know, it was, you know, Swiss, Rodney, you know, Rodney Jerkins, Rich Harrison, you know, Jimmy and Terry, Dre and Vidal, like we were all lobbying for like, we were like, whose record gonna make it? Right. You know what I mean? Right. And we'd hear something like, oh shit, we gotta do it. Like the Neptunes, hear something like, oh yeah, do something with that. We gotta figure out how we gonna beat that. You know what I mean? Right. You know, just the amount of respect and amount of like level of boundaries we were trying to push to be different and to try to make our difference be the actual mainstay. Right. You know what I mean? That's why all those records sound so different. You know, everybody's record, you know, you knew a Neptune's record. You know what I mean? You knew a Rich Harrison record. You knew a Timbaland record. You knew a Rodney Jerkins record. You knew a B. Cox record. You also knew a JD record, but you also knew a JD and B. Cox record. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, we were competing amongst ourselves. You know what I mean? Right. Like we'd make a record together. I'm like, damn, that record went #1. Can I make a record by myself? Go number, you know what I mean? He'd be like, well, I don't make a record without B. Cox. You know what I mean? It might not have been like said, but it was that energy.
You know? Feel that energy, yeah.
It was that energy.
Man, we could talk. I'm gonna bounce around a little bit because we could talk about.
I like how you the little wordplay on that.
Yeah,
Bounce around on it.
Yeah. You see what's going on. You see what's going on. And we had Eric Bellinger in here last week, and we were talking about R&B and the state of R&B because the 90s, early 2000s. That's like that's that sweet spot.
Yeah,
that's that golden era.
Great era.
Yeah.
And we were like, where is R&B? It's resurging. And a lot of times when you talk about R&B, you talk about the past, but you single vice president of A&R over LVRN and, from Summer to Money Long to Ari Lennox, like this is current. This is right now.
Yeah.
How do you like where the state of the game is and where it's going?
I mean, I believe that things happen in cycles. You know what I mean? I've been around long enough to see things cycle a few times. And I think that, there's an appreciation, this young generation, there's an appreciation for what we did and the groundwork we laid. You see Kehlani just putting it on her back and really giving it up. You know what I mean? You see Ari Lennox giving it up. You see Summer Walker giving it up. You see, Eric Bellinger. You see Leon Thomas. You see all these artists, SZA. You see all these artists really giving it up and really diving in conceptually. You know what I mean? Where I think for a little while, the reason why R&B kind of got stagnant is because a few things, but I feel like writing-wise, people kind of got lost with concepts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You kind of just talk about the same thing over and over and over again, and then we got caught up in lingo versus like concepts and actual meat and potatoes. I think people got caught up in language and just trying to be trendy because hip hop is, the thing about hip hop,
I think it swerved a little too hip
Too
hop.
hip hop. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about hip hop is that the reason why hip hop was winning because hip hop was doing language and concepts. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like the concept or not,
Right.
it was they lyrically, it's a concept.
Yeah.
Whether it's somebody shaking their ass or whether it's somebody talking about some real rap. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was concepts. I think that for us as R&B, we kind of got caught up in just the language, not necessarily concept and what was heartfelt. You know what I
They
mean?
ain't singing in the rain no more, B. Cox.
Bro,
And no more groups too. There's no more groups too like that.
Bro,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm on a mission, man, to figure out the group shit.
Oh wow.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, I feel like some of my best work has been with groups, whether it's Jagged Edge, whether it's 112, whether it's Day 26 specifically.
Their first album was a banger.
I think
Day
that
26.
I think that some of my best work has been with groups. And I'm on a mission to figure the algorithm out. Like, why aren't we getting that proper group vibe? You know what I'm saying?
We asked Jagged Edge that, and they said money. Gotta split it 4 ways.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of
The
it.
streaming world,
Right.
everybody
That's
don't want
part
to
of
bust their bread down.
But I'm saying, like I said, I came up in groups. For us, it was a dream to make a group.
Right.
Like, we want to be in a group. I want to be in a group. He gonna sing the bass. I'm gonna do the tenor. He gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna be the producer, Teddy Riley type with the keyboard. You know what I mean? It was. It was like we strived. It was like, oh, we want to be in a group.
Yeah.
I think that, and also, I mean, the elephant in the room is the lack of church, right?
Okay.
When it comes to R&B,
That's a fact. Yeah.
you come up singing in choirs, singing in quartets, singing in small ensembles. That group, that's what kind of fueled the group concept too back in the day for us. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, but it's interesting, dog. I'm seeing a few things pop up. A few groups pop up, and I'm like, okay,
My God, something.
let's see how much further they take it. But I really want to crack that code.
No,
I think that is girl groups and guy groups. I just think that there's something missing. Like, we missed SWV, In Vogue, Destiny Child.
For sure.
Like, what happened?
That was like the best music era.
It was the best era. You know what I mean?
Man, I want to, because I didn't realize, like y'all, I knew JD's involvement. I didn't realize your involvement, and I credit Confessions. Confessions came out in 2004. I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
And that was like my first time.
All right, young guy. Jesus.
Yeah,
I know, right?
But Confessions was the first R&B album that I was like, oh shit. I'm in love. That was my first time like having a soundtrack to
right for you, yeah.
the shit that I was feeling. Like it wasn't on that level, but you know, everybody was cheating in high school.
Right,
and,
right,
you know,
right. For
High
sure,
school, you know, high
sure.
school's high school.
I
you
found
know?
all my breakup songs on Confessions. You know, that gave me my soundtrack to what I was going through, and that was the first time I was like, oh, like emotionally, R&B made me feel
connected with
made me feel connected.
Wow.
To something. Confessions did that for me. I remember blatantly. I was with my mom. She took me to fucking Best Buy. I bought the Confessions album. My mom, she's in the arts and crafts. She's big on arts and crafts and creating. And it's a store in Atlanta called Michael's.
Yeah, Michael's everywhere.
Yeah, Michael's in Houston too.
Listen, man.
That's where teachers go. Teachers go
dog,
there. Yeah.
My mama, she had spent a couple hours in Michael's. So she took me to Best Buy.
Yeah.
I got the Confessions album. She went to Michael's after that. And I said, I'm gonna sit in the car
and listen to the album.
And that was the first R&B and first album that I can remember in my life that I listened to front to back.
Every song.
Front to back was Confessions to me. What was it like working on that project? Because I got listen, how that album make me feel, I got a lot of Confessions questions.
So I'm gonna tell you, for me, it was more or less about
Motherfucking burn.
it was more or less about a continuation of 8701, right?
8701 don't get as much props as it's supposed to,
and
man, because of
8701.
Confessions. But shout out to 8701, man.
Yeah. I think that for us, we went into it like, okay, 8701, let's keep it real. People don't talk about that album as much. Album sold 7 million records. Like, it was a big album, fam. You Got It Bad was a huge single.
Yep.
You Remind Me was a huge single. You Don't Have to Call was, he had
I
huge
think that's
singles.
only because Confessions was
killed,
like,
so yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, for us, it was like, okay, when we went into Confessions, it wasn't even really that much of a thought. We just kind of like, we're going into this next Usher album. All right, what we gonna write about? Yeah. You know, it was like just moving into another project. And as we started writing to this project, then you start feeling like, oh, this shit might be a little special. Might be more, you know what I mean? And for us, it was, you know, I have nothing but fond memories of that era of us like making music.
Yeah, give us some studio stuff. Give us some studio stuff.
Yeah, we went to the studio. So for example, like even with Burn, right? Burn was you know, I tell the story because Jermaine is like he's like the puppet master, right? Like as far as he always thinks as an executive producer. You know what I mean? He's always thinking from the top down, right? So, you know, I think that, like I said, with 8701, I always tell the story about You Got It Bad that I learned that songs come from conversation, right? Before I was always writing songs from a perspective of what I was feeling,
right,
or emotionally feeling, or if I gave a track to somebody, whatever they were feeling, you know what I mean? Okay. It was super fragmented. It was like, okay, like when we did Get Gone for Ideal, that me and Jonte, it was me making the track and giving Jonte the track. He wrote Get Gone to it. So it was I didn't have any emotional attachment to what Get Gone was about. That was really, the track was me, the lyrics was him, and it just meshed well, right? So you know, with Jagged Edge, it was a little different because we would discuss things, but Brian and Brandon are super independent when it comes to writing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
With 8701, it was the first time I actually understood the dynamic of collaboration, right? Of like us communicating, talking about life, talking about this, that, and the third, whatever. So when we get to Confessions, the first song we did for Confessions was Burn. Damn. And when we get to Burn,
yeah, you set a bar.
Yeah.
But I say Jermaine always thinks he's at the top, thinking executive producer, thinking down. So he had a conversation with Usher about something I didn't know nothing about. They talked about what they talked about, and that was that. I had no idea this conversation happened. Fast forward, me and him have a conversation about something totally different. He references something that he had a conversation with Usher about that I didn't even know about.
Right.
He was just like, we were talking about life and love, and he was like, man, you got to let that shit burn. But I didn't realize that he had already had a conversation with Usher.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, that shit's a song, right? He's like, well, shit, let's go write it. So I'm thinking that we're doing this in real time, but he already
had it.
Wheels
had
is
it
turning
brewing
already,
in his head. You know what I'm saying? So we go back to the back, start writing the song, and it's coming like this. And I'm like, why is this song coming so fast? But I mean, now I look back, I'm like, oh, well, because he already had an idea
of what he wanted
brewing. You know what I'm saying? And we wrote the song super fast. And I remember being like, oh, wow, this is fantastic, right? So cool. Fast forward, we do a couple other songs. We at Southside. We do a couple other songs. And then Usher wants to break up the monotony. He's like, yo, I'm going to L.A. Let's go to L.A. and we're going to write out there. And Jermaine was really like, I don't want to write in L.A. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got this brand new studio, beautiful studio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good
like,
money for this shit. I won't use this.
He's like, I want to use this motherfucker. Now I don't want to go to L.A. And he was real superstitious about that shit. Like I don't want to write nowhere but in this room. But, reluctantly, he decided, okay, we'll go to L.A. So we go to L.A., we work at Babyface's studio, Brandon's Way. And my crazy behind, I schedule a fucking dentist appointment, right?
Oh, shit.
To get my wisdom teeth pulled.
Mouth swollen.
No, motherfuckers was biting.
No, but I had no idea.
This album.
I never
had one pulled.
So I'm like, oh shit, let me just go get my wisdom teeth pulled. I'm thinking I'm gonna
yeah,
gonna put me on, put some drugs, boom, boom, I'll get the studio. But so we were having some sort of a writer's block the day before. And we couldn't really get anything going, which was the first time that happened. But I realized why, because Jermaine was really uncomfortable
being in L.A.
Right? So we said, cool, we're gonna shut it down a day. Tomorrow we'll come back tomorrow, right? So Jermaine, unbeknownst to me, Jermaine's just driving around the city. Driving.
Trying to find it.
And he'd fucking drive La Cienega and fucking Beverly, and there's this big ass Beverly Center.
Beverly Center, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where the first line comes. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the dentist. Okay? Get my teeth pulled, the whole shit. I was with my partner, Marco, at the time, and I thought I was gonna be able to drive, but nigga, I get my teeth pulled.
Yeah,
you
had that all. You had that all
drugs.
wrong.
So now,
you was on the perk 30s.
Marco,
you had that all
it was just
wrong.
great. I didn't even go initially I was cool, but I should have went to the pharmacy right next door. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the pharmacy by the hotel. We get on the fucking freeway. The pain hits me like a bug. So I'm like, oh my God. You gotta get me to the fucking pharmacy.
Tissue all in your mouth.
So we go to, they prescribe Vicodin. I go to the pharmacy, I get the Vicodin. He takes me back to the hotel. I was staying at the W Westwood. I go to the hotel. I was like, I'm gonna sleep for a few hours. And when I get up, you gotta take me to the studio. Sleep for a few hours, get up, takes me to the studio. I got the fucking, the bandages in your mouth, the gauze in your mouth. I done popped the Vicodin
out and shit, yeah.
Drooling.
Shit was numb. We get to the studio, and Jermaine's like, yeah, man, we need to set the tone. He obviously, whatever's happening in his mind is happening. So I'm like, cool. I come up with a little bit of the music, and then he sings the first lyric. He was like, I got it. Every time I was in LA, I was with my ex-girlfriend. Every time I called, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, no, I was out doing my work. So literally, I know the Vicodin is kicking in at this point. I'm just like, there's no way these lyrics come out of my mouth. You know what I mean? He's like, Beverly Center. I'm like, oh, I'm in the Beverly Center, like, man, not giving a damn. We were just going back and forth. And then we finished the verse, and then we start the hook. And I'm like, he's like, well, sing it. So I go sing the demo with the damn gouge in my mouth and off the Vicodin. I don't even know how that shit sounds.
Look, I was about to say,
we gotta
in the
find
world
that.
of content,
That
you gotta find that, put that out. In this
And
world of
when
content.
we finished the song, and I'm like, I come out of my booth, I'm like, yo, he's not gonna sing this song. You know what I mean? I was like, this is just too.
You thought it was too
It
personal?
was just
personal,
too controversial.
yeah.
I was like, he's not gonna sing this song, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, shit, when he be here in about 10 minutes, we're gonna play it for him. Comes in, play the song. He's like, I'm singing that shit. And I was like, oh, this nigga about to sing the song. okay, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let's
here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. And then he's like invested, like, okay, sings the song. At the time, Jermaine was the president of Arista Records at the time, and I was working as an A&R in him. So we play the song for LA. LA didn't like the song.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
He didn't like the record.
Wow.
The first version. Because the song was called All Bad. Everything
shit.
I've been doing is all bad. I got Chick on the side, Crib in the Ride. It was called All Bad. And LA was like, it's not better than Burn. It was like, it's cool. And me and Jermaine like, nah, man, this song is, I'm telling you, this song is something to this song. And we just didn't give up on the song.
Right.
We get back to Atlanta, and we just this song would not leave our spirit. And he was like, man, at the time,
I was about to
R.
say.
Kelly had Ignition out.
Ignition,
Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really heard Part 1. We knew what Part 1 was because the industry had got promo copies of the first part of the song, the Ignition Part 1. I was like, but Ignition Part 2 was popping.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, we should do Part 2 to Confessions.
Part
The
2
same kind of way,
It's
same
harder
kind of
than
vibe.
one.
Yeah.
Same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. So we decided to make the track bounce a little more. We just redid the track. We kind of flipped it. And then Jermaine just started spouting out lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Just random lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, this song is writing itself right now.
Yeah.
Just finish this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Usher comes to the studio, cuts it, and we're like, oh, this is it. It felt like this is it. And I was like, yo, it was All Bad Part 2. It was like, nah, this song is called Confessions, man.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And that's how there was no, this is before we knew, he had to cut a bunch of records. So there was no framework on what the album was going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Confessions came in the middle of us making the album. That song comes, then all of a sudden that becomes the focal point of the record. And then it becomes the title track of the album. And then now everybody has to now follow that thing.
So it was Burn, couple songs, then Confessions, and then
Confessions Part 2. And then it started, I don't know whether it was a rumor or whether it was true. Obviously, y'all draw from, real life experiences.
Oh, yeah, the song is about Jermaine.
Yeah, okay.
So Confessions Part 2 is about Jermaine.
Let me get my journalism on. Let me get my... But I think, man, listen.
But the people that wasn't around inside didn't know. They thought it was really about him and Chili. Yeah.
Because so much was going on.
So what's going on with them, right?
It's so crazy
Yeah, that's a
because
fact.
when he started spitting the lyrics, I was like, oh, I know this story. Because I remember.
I was there.
I mean, that story is, I'm not at liberty to tell all the details of what happened, but I just know that he has to tell the story because it's funny. Granted, God bless. Shania is grown up to be a beautiful young woman and amazing. But it started, it was funny how his mama was like, how she found out and you know what I mean? It's just a whole lot. It's just a whole thing. You know what I mean?
Look, people that know the story be like, it's a whole lot. Yeah, it's a whole
And he wrote about it. He wrote about it. He was like, yo, Part 2, she got to get pregnant. And I'm like, oh, nigga, okay. I know what you're doing.
I'm with you, bro.
I know what you're doing.
Cleanse that
Let's
shit.
finish it. Let's finish the song. Go ahead and finish it, bro.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he did like a video for like every song on the album. That was something that
The Rhythm City joint. Yeah.
I looked at it like, because before that, I feel like Jay-Z did it with Streets of Watching. Yes. So when I saw R&B style with it, I was like, hey, this motherfucker got something going right here. God, whose vision was that? Was that like...
That was Usher.
That was all Usher? Oh, shit. Okay.
Usher's a consummate creative, man. Like, so all you got to do is give him a little bit, and he's going to go with it.
Wow.
Once he has the foundation, once he got the music, if he knows, okay, I got the music, and these are the songs we're going with, then he can formulate whatever story he wants to formulate, and he's one of the best at it.
You know what I want to know? I know a lot of artists, when they feel like they got something in ATL, they take their shit straight to one of the strip clubs, whatever your choice is. Obviously, I'm a Magic City guy. Whatever your choice is.
Yes, sir.
Right.
What is their place for R&B music?
I mean, well, now it's Ladies of R&B.
Now it's
you know what I mean?
Now it is.
Right. It's all Wednesday night.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
For the past 8 years, it's been all Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? Ladies of R&B have Flow if you watching.
Yes.
Shout out to
come
Flow.
check us out.
Yeah.
Sir.
But
Nothing hit like the original though. I'm just
yeah,
gonna keep
you
it
talking
real.
SL?
Yeah.
SL?
Yeah, nothing hit like the
SL
original.
was amazing, bro. We had such
Yeah,
a
because
great
y'all
time.
had the artists come in and they sing all it. Yeah.
We had people passing the mic around.
Right,
back then. It was
right.
fire.
Yeah. Shout out to
But
SL.
I guess before that, I mean, it was still strip club. You know, it was still like, you
Probably
know,
more
I remember I did a
up-tempo.
record. I did a record for Genuine called Stingy. I remember when we finished the record, I went right, you know, at the time, what club was it? It was Body Tap.
Body tap.
shout out
Wow.
Okay.
The Tap.
I went right to
Tap.
Body Tap.
That was the one with the stage. You went up or something, right?
No, you had to, when you came in, you had to go downstairs.
You had to go downstairs.
They had the shower room upstairs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
They done flipped it 100 times since
Right,
then.
right.
but
Yeah.
None like the original.
That
I'm gonna tell
original.
you a fun fact. I've never been to Blue Flame.
You never been to Blue Flame?
I've never been to Blue Flame.
Are you
Greg
serious?
Street.
Yeah, I've never
gotta get
been
Lou to Blue
Are
Flame
you
one time.
serious?
I never been to Blue Flame. Shout out to Pimpin' and Parlay, because Parlay has never been to Magic.
Exactly. Party's never been.
So me and Parlay were talking about
Party's
doing
never
some
been to Magic.
content.
Yeah.
I would take him to Magic, and he would take me to Blue
true.
Flame, because at this point, it's just my little running joke. Like, how long can I go
without going to Blue
without
Flame.
going to Blue Flame?
Yeah,
at this point?
I haven't been in a long time, but I've been.
Yeah. I've been too. Yeah.
Well, we've done the whole.
Even you been?
Yeah, I've been.
See, I'm in Gwinnett County. That shit just right out my
It's a
jurisdiction.
little bit out of you.
It's a little way.
Okay, so
It's a little
you've
way.
been in Gwinnett. You live in Gwinnett. So
Yeah.
have you? I mean, obviously, the Oasis Emporium. Have you been
yeah.
there? Everybody say,
yeah.
Everybody say, I know you've been to Oasis.
Everywhere but Blue Flame. For whatever reason, I never been to the Flame.
Yeah, Blue Flame. I haven't been in a long time, but I used to go. I think Greg Street actually still has a night there.
Still has an idea?
But I used to go when Greg Street had his, when it was really popping back in the day, and Greg Street had a night there. It was
Why do Blue Flame got like, if to the outsiders not from Atlanta, they come in, you hear Blue Flame, they feel like that's the most hood one though.
because it's not.
I
'Cause
know.
it's not.
When I went in, I said,
Blue Flame is not the most hood
But
club.
why is it considered to look that as the hood one for
I
some
don't know.
reason?
Blue
I don't know
Flame,
how I
Blue
got
Flame feels a lot like, I mean, Magic has been elevated at this point because of the lure of it.
that. Right.
Um,
Shout out
But
to
Blue-
Allure too. Because
yeah,
Allure's Atlanta.
how about that? But Blue Flame to me feels like, like how the city felt early.
I want to say Cheetahs. I would say
Cheetahs is cheetah.
Nah, Cheetah is like.
Yeah, I want to say
different.
Cheetahs.
Yeah. Cheetah
still hood,
barely,
Cheetah for us?
barely for us.
Yeah.
Oh, Blue Flame.
Well, no, they super black now though.
Yeah, it
But
ain't gonna
They
but it's
changed.
a-
They changed
but
over
it's the
time.
last
Yeah.
year.
Cheetah
They're
changed
about
over
to
time.
close in about a year. So
I thought it was closed already. I was ready to argue up and down. I said, no, that shit done already. But they say
They're not
20
paying the bill.
yeah, 2026 they tearing it down and
yeah,
make
it's
it in.
popping now. Cheetah is cracking right now.
What's your favorite club, strip club, regular ever in ATL?
My favorite strip club
I know mine in the back of my head. I'm
I got
where you
one
go
too.
where you go with it.
outside of New Magic, Magic obviously is the number one club.
one,
my
yeah.
favorite club. My family. You got Wolf. You got you got
It's a
Uncle
family
Charles. You got
environment.
Magic. You got
Everybody.
Mikey.
People
Juju.
ask like, why y'all always imagine
It's family.
Like,
Right.
if you ain't part of the
It's
family,
You're not
family,
gonna get it. You're not gonna get it.
you don't understand.
It's literally family.
yeah,
You know what I'm
like
saying?
you don't understand.
All the,
I can finally say we all can go behind the bar. You know what I'm
like,
saying?
yeah, I'll be behind the bar making drinks and shit.
If you can go behind the bar,
I'll be on the bar with Brittany making drinks and shit.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So Magic is family. Magic right now is probably it's the only spot I go to, only strip club I go to right now. But if I had to, in totality of all the years I've been going to strip clubs in Atlanta, there's nothing like the Gentleman's Club, bro.
What that is?
The Gentleman's Club was this club was downtown. What's the street that the Ritz Carlton is on?
That's,
Downtown, whatever that
14.
side street is. It used to be a club.
Oh, side street. What's that? West Beach Street?
No, but it's on Peachtree, but
It's
it's
Peachtree.
like a side street
Oh,
on Peachtree.
okay.
It's not and it was
Man, what
the,
club
the,
was
the
that?
Gentleman's Club was
Not where opera and all that shit used to be.
no.
right?
This is downtown.
Okay.
It's downtown.
Oh, downtown.
By like,
The Ritz. You
yeah,
said.
the Ritz
Oh,
downtown.
Okay, I'm thinking of Four
It's
Seasons.
downtown. The Ritz downtown. That club, and maybe because my first experience but it just felt like luxury to me, Black luxury. It felt like, the most beautiful women. They had this thing. Me and Jermaine talk about this all the time. They had the champagne shrimp. They had the champagne shrimp, and they made the fried shrimp with the champagne, and the yellow rice, and the broccoli with the cheese. That shit was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the girls who ended up becoming legends, even in Magic, a lot of them started at GC.
Oh, wow.
So some of my first experiences in Atlanta, I remember the first time I went to GC, and we talked about Noontime and J-Dub, and I got to give J-Dub his props. My first time ever going to GC was with J-Dub and Jonte. We were kids. Me and Jonte were kids. And we helped J-Dub move into his house, right? Mm-hmm. He bought this big ass house in Smyrna, and we helped him move into his house. And he was like, man, I want to do you guys a favor and take y'all to lunch. So we hopped in a car with this nigga, and he took us to lunch at the GC. This was fucking day shift. It's my first time.
What year is this?
The best
What year is this? Around what time is this?
This got to be 2018. I'm sorry, 1998.
Okay. 1998. Okay.
1998. Okay. Around 98. Because it was before I had a hit record, but I signed the Noontime. Okay. So it's got to be 98. And he took us to the damn GC day shift, 1:30 in the afternoon, nigga, 2 o'clock. And he knew everybody. He had the club on lock. And it was they locked down this whole section for him, and they had the food ready. And I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Ain't nothing like having good hospitality in ATL.
You know what I'm saying?
You got a spot, you listen, they gonna cater to you, make you feel good. It ain't nothing like.
That's how he is when he get out here. Hey, Spank, hey, man, you know me, I got to be catered to. Talk to me. Where can we go?
Where can we go?
I'm used to certain things. I'm used to a certain level.
Go ahead.
Do your thing.
I want to talk to y'all about.
Oh, we got hold on. No. We ain't read a question off the board yet.
I was about to say I ain't got nothing good yet.
Right. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Spank Horton here, and just want to let y'all know Thanksgiving is here. And listen, I'm grateful for a lot of things: family, friends, good times, and for the fact that nobody asked me to bring them a dish this year. Huh? This is the time of the year we sit back, crack jokes, talk a little trash, and try to avoid that one relative who swears they can cook, but their plate never leaves the table. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Whether you're celebrating big, keeping it small, or just trying to make it through everybody's special dish, raise a glass with the people you care about and savor the moment. A little pour while you're catching up, a little sip while you're watching the game, and a little extra if the family drama starts early. Y'all know how that drama gets. So this Thanksgiving, raise a glass with the people you love and enjoy every minute of it. Because when you've put in the hard work and earned these moments with Grand Cormino, that's when you really understand why hard works taste different. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hi. Holly Hotline, you've reached it. Now I know sometimes you fellas and ladies get a little bored in the late night hours. But now you've reached a place where you can call, talk. I'm the woman that you want to talk to. This has been a long time coming. And I think this is the perfect opportunity. So go ahead and give us a call, 213-536-1010. Call Holly Hotline. Don't be afraid. I don't bite, unless you're into that.
Big Cox, I wanna know what your favorite regular club is outside the gentleman's club. What's your regular? My personal was Velvet Room.
That was
Which
mine.
one?
The first one, right off of
The one off of Peachtree?
That ain't the first one. Shit, nah, not off Peachtree.
You talking about the one? You talking about the one off of
Cheshire Bridge or whatever.
No, the one off of
not Claremont. What's
Claremont.
the fucking? Is
You
that
talking about-
Claremont?
It gotta be Claremont.
That's Claremont.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah, because Claremont rap all the way around.
There was the Velvet Room. There was a Velvet Room on Peachtree across the street.
Oh yes, I
From
ain't up
Kaya.
on that one.
Before they turned that Velvet Room into 112.
See,
So what I remember about that Velvet Room was there was a weekend, and maybe Spank, you might remember this. There was a weekend I mean, I know I keep bringing up Puff, you know.
It's okay. It's okay.
man.
He's serving his
Guys,
time.
fuck
It's
me.
okay.
You know
He's
what
serving his time. It's okay.
My dude.
Yeah.
There was a Bad Boy Weekend
Mm-hmm.
in Atlanta. Oh my God, I'm bringing up another name too. The same weekend, this Bad Boy Weekend, R. Kelly had a concert at fucking Fox Theater, the TP2 tour. And it was Bad Boy Weekend,
R was in
TP2
town.
tour. This is the same weekend, nigga. Let me tell you what's crazy. This is such a wild night, yo. Because I remember ordering a limousine.
A stretch boy.
Stretch
Come on.
limb. Stretch limb. Hey, stretch
I ended
limousine
up
is
getting
magical.
a limo,
Oh, yeah.
like a
Oh, yeah.
proper
Back then?
limousine. And Peachtree was literally, it was gridlocked. Like you couldn't move. You know what I'm saying? And I remember we got the limo, walked up Peachtree to Velvet Room, which was 112 across the street from Kaya. And I'm gonna tell you, this party was the illest, like probably the best party I ever experienced in my life in Atlanta. It was so crazy. And it's like, and think about, right now we think about that area of Peachtree, it's all those high rises now. You know what I mean? STK and high rise.
right.
Like, it was no high rises, it was just clubs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Lined
saying?
up.
It was just clubs. And when you said Velvet Room, I think of that Velvet Room.
Yeah.
Because when I think of the Velvet Room you're talking about, which Alex redefined
Yeah.
club business
Yeah, he did.
with that
He did.
Velvet Room.
See, let me tell you about
You gotta get
about
Alex
AG.
on here too.
See, I went to 112 one time. I went with AI, my rookie year. AI took me to the club with him, and I never forget. I walk in, mind you, I'm young. I'm 18 years old, and I walk in, and there's trash cans all around the club filled with champagne bottles.
This
little, like-
it's 112 on Cheshire Bridge.
Like that type of trash can?
Yeah.
All around the club.
Filled with champagne bottles. Yeah, I remember
champagne
that.
bottles.
I remember that.
And I remember AI talking to another dude with braids and shit. And I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga, man? Who is this nigga that everybody tripping on and people just walking around? It don't matter.
Grabbing bottles.
They just grabbing bottles. Everybody in the
time.
bottle, everybody in the club got bottles of Cristal and shit. And that was the first time I met Big Meech.
Yeah. Oh,
I met Big Meech with
Bro,
AI,
bro.
and that was the one and only time I went to 112. But what made Velvet
crazy.
Room special to me was, at that time, AG didn't give a fuck who you were.
Who you
At
are.
all.
He really
If you're
didn't.
not in dress code,
Yeah.
you not coming in here. So it was always funny to me that I wasn't established. My name
Yeah.
wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
He
right.
like, bruh,
and
no.
AG gets super Ethiopian on you too. Like this motherfucker speaks perfect English. But if he ain't fucking with you know what I mean? So I'm gonna tell you what's crazy, right? This nigga AG, I never forget the old when Kaya turned into Visions, right? I had a party at Visions, okay? And one of my partners was coming in from Houston, and I told him, I was like, look, my partner's coming in from Houston. He's gonna come through the back. When he gets here, he's gonna call me. I need him to get in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bet, whatever. So my partner gets to the back. He's like, yo, man, I'm back here. Who I need to talk to? Yo, ask for either AG or ask for Gabe or, I gave him a couple names. So he's on the phone with me. AG's outside. He's talking to AG. He's like, yo, I got Bryan on the phone. He said, I'm good. So, right, but he's like, $500. He's like, 500. Oh yeah. He's like, yo, this nigga want me to pay $500. I was like,
And not budging.
I don't know what to tell you. Give him the 500,
Right.
Not
and
gonna
then we'll
budge.
figure out whatever. So he gives AG the $500. When he walks in, AG's like, now, what were you saying? Oh, you here for Bryan? Okay. Oh, yeah, he told me.
Oh, he told-
Then he gave the nigga $250 back.
Yeah.
He kept $250.
Yeah.
AG was a
That was
wild-
AG.
Yo,
AG charged me $200 every time I walk
Bro.
up. $200. You got on sneakers. He got on a hat. Somebody in my
There's always
entourage,
something.
man, we was down $200 before we
Bro.
get to the
Nah, let me
door.
tell you,
It took me years to get AG respect, bro.
Yo, Velvet Room was so
No.
crazy. That Velvet Room talking about was so disrespectful.
Oh, my
I pull
God.
up, AG, he see me. If I got like 7 with me. He's like, oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. Give me a credit card.
Yeah.
And so I give the credit card. It's like, okay, we're going to get 5 bottles of Ace of Spades. I'm like, hey.
Yeah,
I don't want 5 Ace of Spades, man. I was drinking Jack Daniels at the time. I was like, just give me a bottle of Jack Daniels. Like, I don't want it. No. We give you the best. He has my credit card in his hand. I'm going to give you the best. 5 bottle Ace of Spades, Jack Daniels. I'm like, no. I only want the Jack Daniels, man.
Yeah.
Charge my car $5,000.
Hey,
I'm like, yo, this nigga is crazy.
AG used to run a tight ship, boy.
I remember the first time we went to Velvet Room. Man, Kev started. He wasn't where he at now, of course, but he was starting to bubble a little bit. So, AG said, hey, man, don't come with no more than 5 people. You got 5. That's all I'm going to give you.
He be dead serious about that.
Like, God damn. So we all like, all right.
That shit is a hard red line.
Yeah,
boy.
we got to figure out who was who. And then I think the people, whoever was extra, had to pay like $100 or $200, something like that. So I think we came with like 8. So Kev built the 600 for the 3 extra people, came up. We got into the section. This is when the section was like the stage.
The stage, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we had like the end section. Nigga, we walk in, music blasting, spotlight shines on Kev. It's all showing them love and that. Man, 15 minutes later, the section next to us fill up. It's Jeezy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nigga, the light leaves us.
Go right to Jeezy.
Straight
Right.
to Jeezy. Kev like, hey, what's going on? What the
yeah.
light going?
No,
so
bro.
now Kev trying to sneak over to the
Jeezy
other
side.
side, the Jeezy side
Yeah.
with the
Trying
light.
to get that spotlight.
There was some times, man. We had some times,
Hey.
bro.
We had
some
Velvet
times,
Room.
man.
Oh,
Hey,
my
Listen,
God.
Oh,
that
yeah, we
fucking
had some
Velvet
times, bro.
Room. I met fucking Andre 3000 in Velvet Room. I ran into E.40 in Velvet Room. Me and my homie, we coming through the crowd with drinks. That nigga E.40 said, ooh, what y'all squabbling on? I'll never forget that shit. But man, listen, it probably took me a legitimate 7-8 years
To get AG's.
for
really
AG to
respect-
recognize me
recognize you.
and respect me and be like, oh, he good.
Yeah.
It took almost damn near a decade.
No, it was ill as that. It's crazy. You asked me my favorite club of Atlanta. Like I moved to Atlanta in '97, so I have a little bit of early experience of clubs, and all that is great, right? But the best club, the best times in Atlanta, to me, is when where the Buckhead shops are. When that area was clubs.
Was the clubs.
When
Moon Dogs
Chili
and all of that
Pepper,
shit. Yeah.
living room, cream,
Living room.
Moon Dog, like that. It was a Chili Pepper on Tuesdays.
Listen, Compound,
Nothing like it,
Compound
bro.
did work too.
Compound. Forgot about Compound.
Compound did work.
I'm like, yeah, I don't even remember old Compound when it was just like when the white boy owned it and it was the house and it was like just a house.
Nah.
No, I don't think I
That
remember
shit
that
was
one.
that shit was crazy.
Damn.
That shit was crazy. Then when Alex got it and built around the house and made it a thing, then it just became like
That was
became
ridiculous.
crazy.
Man,
How
Compound.
many did Compound hold?
Bro, it probably be 1,000, 2,000
Then
people.
now,
in there.
yeah, when Alex got it, he
When
built
Alex
it up.
got it, he made it.
It
Yeah.
had to
built
be
it up.
1,000, 2,000 people in there, bro.
Compound used to be the shit.
Compound was crazy.
I remember I went after the, I think it was the JD anniversary and Hove pulled up.
Oh,
Yeah, we was all there. That was the 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary. Then
Yeah.
we went to Compound afterwards. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, I was connected to JD Hip that night. Because at that time, JD was calling himself the mayor. So he running red lights, police escort.
Escorts, all that.
And
Okay.
when he walk in, he done walked in.
We going straight to the spot.
He not
Right.
turning
No
around. He
questions.
not waiting for nobody.
Nobody,
None of that shit. I said, nope. I'm
with
connected
you.
to your hip tonight. I was
I ain't
with
gonna
him.
tell you who I was connected with. It wasn't Cat. It was Ruggs. Shout out to my nigga Ruggs.
Oh yeah.
Straight up.
You had to be connected with somebody though that night. Jesus Christ.
Nah, listen, a lot of nights. A lot of nights in Compound.
Compound
Because you
was
couldn't even get on
crazy.
that street damn near.
Yeah. Fucking Brady Street, nothing on there.
You couldn't get on. You couldn't get on that street. But I wanted to get back to the music, man, because I know at one time, when you and JD wasn't seeing eye to eye, you start doing your own thing and trying to carve out a lane, and then you got with Mary.
Yeah.
And you got be without you out of that. What was that experience like?
You know what's so interesting? I actually thought about that period recently, and it was such a short period. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that disagreement was such a short period because we had records together
Still dropping.
that was still dropping. You know what I'm saying? So even when we were kind of like whatever was happening in that period, you know, Like You dropped, Shake It Off dropped. It was a lot of records that were still dropping during that period. And then I did Chris Brown. So, you know, Say Goodbye had dropped. And then, you know, the Mary thing happened. And I always say this about that Mary moment. Up until then, I had done a lot of records. You know, me and Jermaine done a lot of records together. I had done a lot of records by myself with Little Mo, Tony Braxton, Aaliyah, you know, a bunch of things.
Damn, so I just dropped them names? God damn, shit.
A lot had led up to that. And the one thing that Mary did for, I can say for me and Jonte specifically, that no other artist had done before then, was she actually said our name, right? And, you know, I've been working with Jagged forever, you know what I mean? It was like automatically, Walked Out of Heaven was out, and Jagged had won on 106 Park, and shout out to every other producer but me. It was really a wild time, you know what I'm saying? And, but I remember not being offended because I was like, it don't matter, bro. Like, I'm going to the mailbox next month. You know,
regardless.
like that was always my go-to. Like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna get the shout out, but I got the money.
Yeah,
Right. Is that a big thing with writers and producers be wanting a shout out, or
for me it wasn't?
It wasn't, but
for me, I actually enjoyed being behind the scenes. Like, I think for me, getting in front of the spotlight, I had to adjust.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
beforehand, like I could be out, and He Can't Love You could be on the radio, and I could be at Lenox Mall and nobody would fuck with me, and I could shop and pull my fucking Amex out and go crazy, and nobody knew who the fuck I was. You know what I'm saying? And it felt good to be able to do that.
That's such a luxury, though, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That's such a luxury. Like being in the league and only being 6'1", I can move around, grocery shop, and do my shit and have some level of
normalcy
in my life, bro.
I think that when Mary started speaking our name, which actually, of course, upped everything for me and Jonte. It upped our money, it upped our profile, it upped everything. She was the first artist out of everybody.
Wow.
You know, up until that point. This is 2005, I think. By the time 2006, Be Without You comes out. So I've been making hit records since 99. You know what I mean? So 99 to 2006, I'm moving around Atlanta and doing what I want to do without really. I mean, of course, people who know. But I could move in the city without nobody trying to give me a demo tape or nobody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, I could be with Jermaine and nobody even think about who I am. It's like I'm just a homie. That's just you know what I mean? So when Mary was the first artist to ever speak our name in that light, like, yo, Bryan Michael Cox and Jonte Austin. You know, they gave me this monster hit. And that's what led me to making a band. That's how making a band
that's
happened.
how making a band came.
Because she was speaking our name so much, we was getting work left and right. This Chris Brown started happening. All these things started happening. You know what I mean? I ended up working with Usher again by myself, Mariah again by myself because of that. Right?
Wow.
And then Puff calls. He calls my manager Jaha at the time. He calls Chris. It's like, yo, what's up with your boy? I need him for this. I got this girl group making a band. Boom. So I was like, cool, let's do it. So I ended up going to New York making a band, and then that kind of launched the visible. Like, you could put a name with the face.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. When did you start it? Yeah,
because I think people knew the name. But I think that when I did making a band, that's when people could say, oh, and then people started doing spoofs. This is the onset of YouTube, right? So then Afion starts doing spoofs and shit. You know what I mean? So that turns into a thing. You know what I mean? So the Mary thing was a real transitional moment for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I went from being completely behind the scenes to her being on the Grammy stage saying, thank you, Bryan Michael Cox. That turns into something totally
Shout out to Mary J.
different.
Blige.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Would you say that's one of your prouder records?
What am I what?
One of your prouder records?
Oh,
Be Without You?
I mean, it's the biggest R&B record of all time.
Yeah, I was
I gotta
say,
stand
when you got so many records, bro, that you've been a part of one way or another, like how do you rate what's special to you and what's not?
just our rate was special to me based on what was happening, right? So, and it all kind of fluctuates on how I'm feeling, right? So the Mary record is something that I feel like was really, really a transitional joint for me because I was known in the business and I was working on a lot of things. I was working on Joe. I was working on, A. Marie. I was working on a bunch of things, you know what I mean? So work was not a problem, at the time. I was in the studio working with everybody. Mm-hmm. But I think for Mary to do, to put us on a pedestal the way she did, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That even made Mariah come back and say, hey, these are my guys. You know what I mean? Like it turned into
competitive juices.
It turned into that. Oh, wait.
You got them too long. Get back.
Come on back over here. You know what I'm saying? And Mariah was a very key component on, I feel like me and Jermaine were gonna work together again anyway. Mm-hmm. Right. But Mariah was a very, very key component. Like I said, it wasn't even it might have been 6 months. It wasn't a long period of time. You know what I mean? It was like whatever misunderstanding happened between our attorneys, that was a misunderstanding. And then next thing I know, Mariah's calling me like, hey, because Emancipation was popping. And I co-produced Shake It Off with Jermaine, and I co-wrote this song called Can I Get Your Number? That was on the album. But then they did We Belong Together. We Belong Together was huge, you know?
Yeah, it was no more for some
We
weeks.
Belong Together is. Yeah. It's about to be our season again.
Yeah, right? And then Mariah called me. I didn't even know, at the time, she had changed the number. I didn't know who the number was. Right. Picked up the phone, it was Mariah. And she was like, hey, I'm doing a restripe, they call it a restripe back then, but they call it now an extended, expanded version of the album.
Okay.
I want to add a few more songs to it, and I want you to do a song with me. I was like, great. She was like, would you be opposed to working with Jermaine again? I was like, hell no, Jermaine's my dude. Right. Like I never had to, you know what I mean? Right. I've been waiting for him to call me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. And so she was like, bet, okay, we're gonna make it happen. Then like maybe 10 minutes later, Jermaine's office called me, Diane called me like, hey, where are you at? So I'm in LA. Can you be in Atlanta this day? I was like, yeah, I'll be there. Boom. Mm-hmm. Come back to Atlanta, right? The first day. Now me and Jermaine hadn't really talked in months. I saw him at the ASCAP Awards with Jonte. We spoke a little bit, but we didn't really, really get a chance to really get into it. Yeah. And then so I go back to Atlanta, I go to the studio. It's like nothing never happened. Yeah. We picked up where we left off. Mm-hmm. And the first song we make is fucking Don't Forget About Us. Another number one. Boom. Yeah, like that.
Jesus Christ, man.
So, and then from there, we just never looked back. It was like, boom.
After that.
Now, I can't sit here with you, B. Cox, and not talk about my crazy ass brother Bow. I can't listen.
I've been on that little nigga since he was 12. So.
Man, listen. My God. Listen, man, I always talk about us growing up together because I always say I was the friend that he needed.
At the time.
Because he was so famous. Right. So young.
So young.
Like, I'll never forget, I always tell this story. He called me like, you hungry? Like, I can eat, nigga. What's up? Like, I want to go Chick-fil-A.
That's all you want to do,
all right, let's go Chick-fil-A. All right, let me call my security. Nigga, I'm on the way. And I would pile up all my high school homies. Yeah. And we would pile up into my, because I got my first car, and we would go pick Bow up, and we would just go do teenage shit.
Regular shit, right. Yeah.
We would go do teenage shit. And I'd be like, bro, you don't, like, only reason we getting chased out of the mall is because of you, nigga.
Yeah. Let me tell you what's crazy, right? About Bow, right? Is that we were making this first album. We made this album in like 10 days, 10, 14 days. Damn. It was no more than 14 days. We made his first album fast, right? Because me and Jermaine, when Jermaine get focused and we locked in, it's going to happen quick, right? So we make the album. Bounce Me was already out. Okay. Because it was on the Big Mama House soundtrack. So it was already out. We finished making the album, and they do like a fucking meet and greet at like some mall. I went to, I think it was South DeKalb Mall or some random mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, we've been in the studio with this cat, so I don't really know I haven't seen the
public,
the pandemonium.
Yeah.
We don't know. I don't know that it's this crazy. You know what I mean? Bro, we go to this mall. And it is pandemonium. Like, it is cool. I mean, kids is grabbing on him. Like, Bob had to like lift this nigga and put him like on the top of like a store or some shit. It was crazy. It was like,
listen, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Great. I was like, yo, I've never seen like that in my life.
We got locked in the mall in Charlotte, North Carolina. They had to put the gate down.
Yeah.
And we was stuck in there so long that we literally was just sitting on the counter, a Foot Locker, looking at the fans, looking at us.
Looking at y'all.
Because we can't
Can't do
literally
nothing.
can't leave.
No, literally, I was like, yo, what in the, I mean, like, literally, there was another kid, right, who I was connected to by one of my managers, right? It was one of his kids who had been around Bow regular in the studio.
Right.
You know, like, they've been kicking it, playing video games. You know, like, this kid knew Bow Wow, knew him, right?
Yeah.
This kid is at the meet and greet at the mall, losing his mind.
And no one.
I'm like, nigga, you know him. You know him. Why are you screaming for this kid? You were just playing video games with this guy last week. What are you doing? Yeah. Pow wow. I'm like, yo, come on, man.
So that's why Ray Daniels come out with the whole Bow Wow at his highest was bigger than Jay-Z at his highest, because he was around the vicinity of seeing that. But I still...
It is my thing, right?
Yeah.
About that is different.
That wasn't fair. Yeah.
It's very, very
that
different,
wasn't,
right?
that wasn't a fair one. But
It's not fair. It's different, right? Because when you're talking about kids,
Exactly.
that's different.
Right.
kids,
Grown-ups. Ain't no
is
grown-ups
different.
chasing your ass.
Yeah, like
Right.
by the time Reasonable Doubt came out, Jay was 25.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It
Like,
came out in 96.
yeah, nobody's, you know, he's a grown ass man. You
Right.
are. There's a different kind of thing. People are fans,
Yeah.
but they're not. Like these, you know, we talking about kids, bro.
Exactly.
See,
Kids?
being Bow, we started being friends. He was already gone. He was full-fledged Bow Wow. See, I met JD first.
Yeah.
I met JD, and JD said, "I gotta introduce you to Bow."
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "I gotta
Bow was
introduce."
on the second album by the time he was.
Yeah, by the time I
yeah.
came around, he was fucking out of here.
Right.
So he like, I gotta introduce you to Bow, man. Y'all the same nigga.
So when he introduced you, did Bow know who you was, or?
Yes, because at that time I was making waves.
You were
in high
still
school.
And
I
Bow was a super fan of like
Right.
basketball.
Yeah, he
Basketball,
was,
of
he
course,
was a
right.
big time basketball guy, and I was number one in the country, number one in the state. Talked about, and I'll never forget. JD walked me, introduced me to Bow Wow, and Bow Wow said, "Hey, you Lewis Williams?" I said, "Yeah, nigga, you Bow Wow." He said, "Hey, we gotta go hoop. I can beat you in basketball." I said, "Now we're not gonna go that far, nigga." I said, "We're not gonna go that
Stop
far."
it.
But JD introduced me to Bow,
No,
and me and Bow became homies.
The beautiful thing about who Jermaine is as a person is his ability to connect the dots. You know what I'm saying?
Executive producer thing.
It's executive producer shit. Like literally, like when I met Jermaine, I was 19 when I met him. Like he's a person that can, and granted, he's just such a young spirit. You know what I mean?
To this day, still
To
a
this
young
day,
spirit.
he
huh?
has an understanding of how to cultivate, mold young talent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's me as a producer at 19, whether it's Bow Wow as an artist at 12, whether it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, him connecting y'all connecting. Like he just has
Crisscross.
this thing. Crisscross. You know, he just has this thing. I mean, even Escape was young. Jagged Edge was young.
yeah.
Jagged, they were
Brat.
teenagers. Brat was a teenager. He just has this thing where he knows how to communicate and cultivate talent from a young perspective.
Because he was young when he got on, basically. Yeah.
He was a kid when he first started getting his bones.
Yep.
But I don't listen. You talked about Puff. I don't think people realize their verses wasn't gonna go their way. I don't think they realized that shit wasn't gonna go their way.
Listen, bro, let me tell you something.
Did he snitch? I mean, not did he? JD already said what his trump card was.
At this point, I think it's...
And we know what the trump card was. There's two
Yeah.
things that it could have went really bad, right? With the trump card, the two trump cards. I don't want to even talk about, the
Right,
trump
of course,
cards.
right.
Yeah.
But it could have went really bad. You know what I mean? Here's the deal. I think that we get a lot of bullshit because we're from the South.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, there's always a adoration, especially in those days, 90s and early 2000s. There was adoration for New York, and there was always a thing like
being from Philly, I understand.
New York is New York is the pinnacle. It's like you get a record on the radio in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that time it felt like it meant more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, for sure.
And you wanted the respect. We wanted the respect of Puff and Andre Harrell and Russell and Lior and all those cats up there. We wanted the respect. The reason why LA was like, I'm going to sell the face and move to New York and be the president of Arista. Like, really, there's such fertile ground in the South. There's such fertile ground in Atlanta. We're breathing rare air in Atlanta, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that is...
And he also wasn't, he's not the personality that Puff,
Puff
had. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was always the young, fly, flashy shit, for sure. But he wasn't in front of the camera.
Puff was
being,
Puff
was a beast at that.
He was outside. He was outside.
He was aspirational. Yeah. If you didn't know anything about him, whatever personal, whatever, if you just watched him, he was the most aspirational black person.
When you walk in the room, you saw it.
In the 90s and the 2000s, he was the most aspirational black person.
Yeah.
Right.
He was like that. He made people wear velour suits. He made people drink Ciroc, bro. Like,
he was in them velour suits. Yeah, I had a Voter Die shirt.
I don't drink. No, let me tell you.
I had that too. John.
Nobody could make me drink a drink.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, good enough. I was drinking Jack Daniels, bro. Like, nobody told me to drink Jack Daniels, but
Ciroc,
yeah.
You was getting them dots.
That pineapple Ciroc was the best thing.
I feel like why the situation is such a conflict for our culture. You know what I mean? It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We ain't that pod, so don't worry about it. We ain't gotta get into that. We not that pod.
The thing that being from up north, I think a lot that we looked at when it came to the verses, we looked at it as he has Biggie. You know what I'm saying?
Jay had Biggie too.
I know.
That's the trump card.
I know. That was one of the trump card. Yeah.
I mean, verses nobody heard.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
JD was doing shit with Mace. I think JD introduced me to Mace as a fan.
JD did a joint venture with Mace, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking Harlem World was on Social Death.
And that's a lot of things.
The whole thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of things that we didn't know from North, though. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, that shit wouldn't have went how people thought it was.
I still wanted to go down though. I still wanted to go down.
Yeah. Well,
when Puff get released, we wanted to go down. We wanted to go down. We wanted to go down. You know what I'm saying?
B, we can do this shit all night. I want to ask you one more question.
Because they got to go to Mr. Childs, man. They said ain't no Mr. Childs in Atlanta.
You know Mr. Child in Atlanta, bro.
Yeah, I want to ask you. Hold
on. Before you ask that question, I have a question for y'all, right? Because we talked about confessions earlier, right? Mm-hmm. And for you, going to buy the record, like you said, having that experience, going to Best Buy, waiting in the car, listening to the record while your mom is in Michael's, right? Question I have for you is, how is your musical experience now versus back then when you could buy records and what's the difference now for you?
It's different. It's no urgency. For me, for me, it's no urgency. Like, I really enjoyed going and getting the album, looking at the liner notes, looking at the pictures, seeing the thank yous
on,
and
listening to
shit.
some of the songs.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in Bow Wow's thank you notes.
Word up.
That shit meant something to me to see my
That's
name
Word up.
in that shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm one of them. Mitch Faulkner was my stepfather before he passed away.
Damn.
Kiss 104.
Wow.
That was my stepfather. Him and my mom married, and he's a lot of the reason I ended up in Atlanta. My mom chased a man, They ended up marrying, and that man was Mitch Faulkner. So I grew up in a house with promotional use only.
Wow.
CDs.
Word up. Yeah.
Promotional use only.
Yeah.
I grew up in the house getting the music early and being able to hear shit and experience it before it came out. So that meant something to me. It meant something to get an album and to experience it in that manner. Now I'm at an age where, and the music doesn't excite me like that. Like I'm not in a discovery phase of music. I'm still listening to artists that I like. When they put shit out,
you listen to that shit.
I'm still listening to
their
that
new shit and
every once in a while. I might this podcast has introduced me to so many different artists. I'm like, let me check they shit out. Other than that, I'm not in a discovery phase of music because I can hear the song that I do like, put it in a playlist,
and go.
keep
Keep it moving. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I am with music and the state of it.
With me,
what do you think it's going to take to get people engaged the way we're engaged? You know, because I feel like
our attention spans, man.
Yeah.
Like
this
we
new
gotta
shit.
get back to a place where it becomes an experience again. And what that experience looks like now, we are still trying to figure that out. Because my last question was, what is your opinion on AI being involved in music with you being a creator and a composer? And you know, a lot of people being able to cut corners with that. AI. That was gonna be my question. I think the experience is different now. So where do we go from here with music that makes it exciting again?
Get it back to excitement.
Yeah.
It's very tough. AI is a tough thing to tackle, right? Because we can't stop it.
Right.
Right? We technically we've been using AI for a long time and didn't even realize it. Google is AI.
Google is AI, basically.
You know what I mean? So it's tough to say, you know, for me, there got to be some regulation on it. I think that, you know, somebody who don't sing and don't do nothing and just say words into an app and then gets $3 million, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit how to chalk it up, whatever. That is crazy to me. But AI is a tool. You know, right? It's like when the onset of CDs came and people were like, oh, what the fuck is CDs?
Right.
Then the onset of MP3s, Napster, that was a big thing. If anybody remembers what was happening with MP3s and all that shit back in the late 90s, it was a problem. And
They tried to sued, though.
They tried to fight piracy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then realized, we cannot fight this shit because the technology is moving with it, right? So I think that
I love Napster though. I ain't gonna lie. Napster, LimeWire,
LimeWire and all that shit.
LimeWire.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie.
But what I'm saying, like, so we can't fight the technology, right? But how they regulated MP3s, they gotta regulate AI.
AI, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People have to start trademarking their voices, their likenesses. Like we gotta really get into the business of understanding that this is happening. There's nothing we could do about it.
They're trying to buy it. Like they're trying to buy your voices and your likeness.
Yeah, and then you have to be in a space. Do you want to sell it, or do you want to?
Right.
You have to understand the value of who you are and what that means. Because once you sell it, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah,
they can use it forever.
Yep.
So it's understanding what AI is, and it's having some regulation. You know what I mean? I think that there should still be a level of, creativity. It should be a level of I thought of something creatively, and maybe I used AI to express that creativity.
Right.
But it'd just be like, to type in a prompt.
And then have them do everything? Yeah.
That's to me, that's fucked up, and it's going to literally alleviate. I mean, here's the deal, right? I can't say that it's going to alleviate human shit because people still want a human experience.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like I was saying earlier about these artists, these young artists that are now like a Kehlani, like a SZA, like these artists who are actually breaking through. Leon Thomas, even Bruno Mars did make New Jack Swing records.
Yeah.
It had #1 records. You know what I'm saying? The real shit is always going to cut through. That's what I believe. I believe that real shit is going to always cut through. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we regulate AI. It's a tool. It's something that we can't get away from. It's something that's happening.
Yeah.
We have to embrace and figure out how we regulate it.
Right. I put one of my jokes into the AI. It came out with a whole format.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, I ain't think of that.
Better than you.
You might fuck around. Like literally, when it's coming to business plans and shit like that, like, I use ChatGPT all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I need a business plan for someone.
Hey, our contracts.
But the thing about it is, it's going to be generic. So
so
you have to insert your human shit
you do.
into it. You know what I mean?
That's a
you have to insert your human shit into it. And like I said, I saw the interview with Gayle King and old girl that did the girl that got $3 million.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool, you got that money.
Right.
People know that it's fake now, though.
Yeah.
How do you sustain that?
How do you sustain that? Hopefully you invested your money well. Because people want real shit, no matter what.
Facts.
How closely, and until you are able to prompt that shit to make it feel something, because people know the difference, man.
Yeah.
Definitely do.
Well, because in the lounge, we got somewhere we call the underground fuck it bucket. We know you got somewhere to be, so we're gonna do an expedited. We're gonna do an expedited version. We just gonna let you pick some.
I got you.
Read it out loud. Only rule in the lounge is you just can't lie to us.
Okay, I'm gonna see what this is. Oh shit.
These are the ones that be going viral.
What are you trying to currently change about your life? Explain.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a real good one.
There's a lot of things I'm trying to change about my life.
I've been wanting to talk about this all
Talk about
night.
this for a second. I think number one, I want to be better with my follow through. I think that I've been able to sustain who I am as a person from talent alone. You know what I mean? And things that I'm passionate about, talent wise, kind of cuts through.
Yeah.
But in my personal life and in my business life, as far as building a business outside of being talent, I want to be better with my follow through. I want to be better with getting my business ideas to the finish line. I want to be better to get my personal life to the finish line. I want to be able to focus a little more on micro focus versus macro. You know what I mean?
Do you think your talent is the reason why you haven't been focused on all those, or?
I think my talent could be a part of it, but I think also just, most talented people, there's always a quirk. Either you're ADHD, or whether you're bipolar. There's always a quirk with somebody who's creative, you know what I mean? And for me, I want to be able to hone that quirk and say, okay, I know where I want to go. And a lot of times I just allow my talent to take me somewhere.
Yeah.
And it might take me somewhere good. It might take me somewhere bad. You know what I'm saying? But I just allow it. You know what I mean? I just want to be more concise with the decisions I'm making and more focused on like directives. You know what I mean? And that's personal and business wise.
That's major.
I like that.
I fuck with that.
That's a great one right there. God dang.
And I also want to say, I want to say this on camera. I just signed a new R&B artist out of Memphis, Tennessee, by the name of Marticio. So when we ready, I come looking
Whatever
for you.
you need,
I ain't gonna be one of them people waste your time. I briefly had a conversation with you about it,
a little bit.
but I'm the type of person like, if I ain't ready to present,
he said
present it how it's properly supposed to be presented with people like yourself and the JDs of the world that I got personal relationships with.
Smart.
I'm not even gonna waste y'all time with it. So
whenever you're ready,
when the time is right, my brother, I promise you, I got something that I'm working on, I would love and I need your help.
Whenever you're ready, man.
He's
right
coachable.
Here,
talented,
love it,
and focused on getting back. I want to say that on camera. I want to
make
sure.
For sure.
Right here. Whenever you need it, bro. Whenever you're ready.
I want to make sure I said that for my youngin. Last but not least.
Hold on, before the last but not least, I've been writing about my experiences, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah, my life. I've been writing about my life.
Write up, Spank.
I've been writing. Yeah, I've been getting cheated on, and I've been cheating on them, and I'm trying to figure out what lane.
You and your Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
You and your Quincy Jones. You 47.
We all been going through the same shit.
I'm gonna text you some shit from time to time. Hopefully, I get into the credits. Hopefully.
But when I'm ready to present it the right way, and I feel like the timing is right to
just let me know.
To
We good.
you know,
No, for sure,
to value
for sure.
your time, my brother. I'm definitely gonna put that on your
Now,
schedule.
let's make sure you make that call though.
Follow
Follow
through.
through.
No,
Exactly.
yeah,
Say what?
yeah,
Because
I got you.
that's my personality. I don't like to.
Yeah, his personality. He's
I don't-
not going to call you.
Listen. I've known these people for years.
Mm-hmm.
They know I work on music. I've not one time said shit to JD about music.
Now, one time,
Not one time.
Yep.
And organically, my artist was just on the Magic City album.
love it.
He was on there. That was something that they did
Right.
individually, independent outside of me.
Yep.
That's how I like
No, that's
it to
real.
work.
That's
Because
real.
I like it to be worth it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, I don't like to use the homie hookup shit.
course,
I
right.
want it. I want it to
Wanna
be
make sure it's
like,
real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
got you.
real. It's some real shit, and it's worth everybody's time. So
Gotcha.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Last but not least, in
Yeah.
the lounge, we got what we call a fuck you camera.
Okay.
In the lounge, we give all of our guests an opportunity, whether it's a person, place, thing, a time in your life, a scenario that you never gave it. It's proper fuck you. We give you the opportunity to look square in that camera and give it what it need to be done.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I don't have that, man.
Sean.
There you go.
Sean.
Sean got it.
Sean, what is it, Sean? Come on
No,
now.
I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't want no
We're going to
controversy.
take a drink on that
I don't
one.
want no controversy.
So a lot
I
of
don't have it. I'm
times,
gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
My life has been the ups and downs, man. I take it as it comes, bro. And I've been blessed, bro. You know what I mean? So even in the down moments, even in the moments it feels like, you know, I'm going through something right now that's a little strange, and I'm not gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But even in that, it's like it's a lesson to be learned, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful life, bro. I don't have any of that, man. It's all love, baby.
yes, sir. And with that being said, Bryan Michael Cox is in the Underground
Yeah.
Lounge. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and follow us. We'll catch y'all next time on
Yeah.
Underground
Yeah.
Lounge. Love.
Yeah.
Love.